The Martha Stewart Way, rustic living, recycled garden beauty, and vintage home harmony. In a time where home design trends shift rapidly, there is a growing longing for something grounded, something warm, sustainable, and filled with personal history. Enter the Martha Stewart Way, a lifestyle philosophy that embodies timeless rustic living, repurposed garden charm, and harmonious interior design rooted in elegance and function.
Welcome to Hambalung. Dive into the world of architecture with stunning designs and innovative ideas.
This aesthetic draws on the power of reclaimed materials, handcrafted details, and intentional living to create spaces that feel personal and welcoming. It's a movement toward authenticity in an increasingly fast-paced and synthetic world. This approach is not just visual, it's experiential. Imagine walking into a sun-drenched living room, where light dances on neutral-toned walls and vintage textures greet you at every corner. A well-placed linen armchair, a weathered wooden bench, and hand-woven throw pillows form the bones of a room that invites relaxation. In the garden, aged terracotta pots overflow with herbs, while fence accents made from recycled wood tell their own story of reinvention. These environments don't just look good, they feel lived in, loved, and alive. The art of balancing comfort with style is what separates the Martha Stewart Way from fleeting design trends. It relies on the intelligent layering of textiles, the mindful use of color palettes like warm creams and dusty greens, and the selective incorporation of antique decor. Whether it's a vintage mirror catching morning light or a worn farmhouse stool serving as a plant stand, each element plays its role in a visually rich symphony of textures and tones. The outcome is design that's both structured and soulful. More than anything, this lifestyle celebrates craftsmanship, storytelling, and sustainability. From garden layouts using upcycled objects to living rooms arranged with cinematic symmetry, every space becomes a canvas for creativity and conscious living. Throughout this article, we'll explore how to recreate this vision across different areas of your home, indoors and out, while using design techniques rooted in practical elegance and visual composition. Each section focuses on a key element that brings rustic beauty to life, harmonizing structure with soul. One, framing warmth. The living room as a cinematic centerpiece. At the heart of any rustic home lies the living room, a space designed to gather warmth, memory, and comfort. In the Martha Stewart-inspired approach, the living room is composed like a film scene, balanced light across corners, natural materials, and an intentional flow from one element to the next. Linen-covered furniture in muted neutrals forms the backdrop, while a reclaimed wood coffee table stands at the center, both functional and beautifully worn. Layered textures, from jute rugs to wool throws, enhance the space's tactile experience. Lighting plays a vital role in creating this cinematic feel. Large windows allow ambient daylight to pour in, illuminating vintage botanical prints on the walls. Brass floor lamps and candle sconces create mood as evening falls, each light source contributing to a layered illumination that highlights shadow and shape without overpowering. Placement is key, each lamp and mirror positioned with purpose, reflecting warmth and emphasizing architectural features like crown molding or exposed beams. Furniture arrangement matters just as much as material choice. A well-balanced visual field, bench to armchair, rug to ceiling fixture, creates harmony. Even the smallest detail, like an antique ceramic bowl of dried lavender placed on a rustic shelf, holds visual weight in this composition. The narrative here is one of calm and cohesion, told through the language of furniture and filtered sunlight. In such a room, comfort doesn't compromise elegance. Instead, the combination of aged patinas, curated antiques, and organic fabrics achieves a look that's both cinematic and deeply human. It's about setting a tone that feels deliberate yet unpretentious, an interior that draws you in, encourages pause, and tells your story in the flicker of lamplight or the hush of morning sun. 2. Reviving outdoor spaces, recycled garden charm. Beyond the threshold of the home, the Martha Stewart Way extends into the garden, an evolving sanctuary of green life, recycled materials, and purposeful layout. Here, a rustic garden is more than just soil and sunlight. It's a place where sustainability meets storytelling. Imagine a garden fence made from reclaimed pallets, accented by iron hooks holding lanterns and small hanging planters. Each reused item finds new value, celebrating eco-friendly design and vintage aesthetics. Visual balance carries from interior to exterior. A stone pathway, uneven and charming, leads to a tucked-away garden bench framed by wildflowers and thyme bushes. Old wooden ladders are transformed into trellises for climbing beans, while chipped ceramic pitchers house spring blooms on raised beds. The layout is both artistic and functional, with intentional asymmetry that mimics nature's wild harmony. It's not sterile landscaping, it's lived-in beauty. Potted plants are central to this narrative. Ferns spill from wrought-tin baskets, basil grows in antique teacups, and hanging ivy adorns trellised pergolas made of driftwood. The garden glows with morning light, filtered through tree canopies and glass bottle edging. Lighting here is natural, shifting with the sun, and enhanced in the evenings with repurposed lanterns and solar jars placed strategically for ambience and safety. This outdoor style isn't only decorative, it's deeply practical. Compost bins made of recycled wood, rainwater barrels hidden behind flowering hedges, and handmade stepping stones serve dual purposes. Garden beauty doesn't come from lavish spending, but from thoughtful repurposing and patient cultivation. That's the essence of rustic outdoor design done the Martha Stewart way. A quiet, enduring relationship between human hand and nature's resilience. Three, harmony through texture, layering for comfort and contrast. Texture tells a silent story in rustic design. It suggests comfort, reveals age, and invites interaction. Within this visual framework, the Martha Stewart Way encourages strategic layering of textiles, surfaces, and finishes. Start with a neutral foundation, whitewashed walls or soft beige paint that bounces natural light gently throughout the room. Then introduce depth with linen drapery, boucle throws, and wool blend upholstery. Each texture chosen for its ability to contrast while remaining cohesive. Even hard elements are softened by texture. Think distressed wood flooring under a worn Persian rug, or a hand-thrown pottery vase resting on a rough-hewn bookshelf. Visual composition relies on how these pieces touch and frame each other. It's about moments of friction, smooth against grain, metal against woven fiber, that result in visual and physical comfort. The goal is a space that's tactile and sensory-rich, without feeling chaotic. Textures in rustic design often reflect the passage of time. A cracked leather chair beside a freshly starched cotton slipcover speaks to the layers of life lived in the space. A sisal rug anchors the furniture, while a vintage glass chandelier refracts warm light through handmade lace curtains. These tactile combinations ground the space and make it both breathable and deeply personal. The effect is one of invitation. People feel at ease in these rooms, not because they're perfect, but because they're emotionally resonant. That's what texture offers when applied with intention, a subtle narrative of use, memory, and human presence. In rustic homes inspired by Martha Stewart, texture is never an afterthought. It is the language in which beauty and comfort speak. Four, lighting the story, natural illumination and cozy glow. Lighting in a Martha Stewart-inspired space is more than functional, it's atmospheric. It sculpts the environment, adding dimension to objects and creating mood with every shift of daylight or flicker of candlelight. Daytime is reserved for natural illumination. Sheer curtains diffuse sunlight across antique surfaces, while mirrors reflect the glow to darker corners, ensuring that every inch feels open and intentional. As dusk approaches, interior lights take over the visual storytelling. Instead of relying solely on overhead fixtures, rustic interiors favor ambient lighting. Table lamps with linen shades, Edison bulbs in wrought iron cages, or candles resting on wooden mantels. Each source adds to the cinematic rhythm of the room, guiding the eye through space with deliberate highlights and gentle shadow. Garden spaces too benefit from thoughtful lighting. Hanging lanterns sway from tree limbs, fairy lights outline arbors, and vintage oil lamps cast golden hues over garden benches. These are not just accents. They are tools for creating intimacy, safety, and a seamless transition between indoor and outdoor environments. Light becomes the glue that binds rustic life together. Balanced lighting also reveals flaws, and that's the point. In rustic design, imperfection is prized. The way a crack in the plaster wall catches afternoon sun, or how the patina on an old copper pan glows beneath a pendant lamp, are examples of how lighting enhances rather than hides. In the Martha Stewart Way, light is not just a design element. It's an invitation to slow down, to notice, and to appreciate. Five, vintage finds and repurposed elegance. One of rustic living's greatest charms is the creative reuse of vintage pieces. In true Martha Stewart style, everyday items are elevated. A chipped teacup becomes a succulent planter, a cast iron gate turns into wall art, and old drawer knobs become unique hooks. These repurposed touches don't just decorate, they delight, lighting the story, natural illumination and cozy glow. Lighting in a Martha Stewart-inspired space is more than functional. It sets the mood. Daylight streams through sheer curtains and reflects off mirrors, brightening every corner naturally. As evening falls, soft lighting takes over. Table lamps with linen shades, Edison bulbs, and candles create warmth and ambience. Outdoor spaces shine too, with lanterns and trees, fairy lights around arbors, and vintage oil lamps glowing over garden paths. Lighting isn't just accent, it's emotional glue. It highlights imperfections, like a crack catching the sun or a worn copper pan under a pendant light. In rustic design, these details aren't flaws, they're features. The key is intention. Rustic elegance values curated imperfection. Choose pieces that tell a story: an old quilt, a time-worn stool, a foxed mirror. Repurposing adds charm and supports sustainability. Salvaged doors become headboards, crates become shelves, broken tiles make mosaics. In Martha's Way, beauty lives in character, not perfection. Conclusion: living the story, not just styling it. Rustic living, when done with heart and purpose, becomes more than decor. It becomes a narrative. Each room, each object, and each lighting choice reflects the life lived within those walls. The Martha Stewart Way captures that philosophy and translates it into design that welcomes, comforts, and inspires. Whether indoors or outdoors, the harmony of old and new tells a story that's both intimate and universal. Through careful composition, natural textures, recycled treasures, and intuitive lighting, your home becomes more than a place. It becomes a reflection of intention. In this rustic framework, you don't decorate to impress, you design to express. And in that expression lies beauty, function, and emotional depth. As you adopt this timeless style, remember, the goal isn't perfection, it's personality. With every vintage cup, worn bench, or flickering lantern, you breathe life into your space. And in doing so, you bring the Martha Stewart way to life, layer by layer, light by light.